This is an excerpt from The Magic Presence by Godfrey Ray King, a discourse by Saint Germain. Through his consciousness, every human being can release the limitless power of the mighty I Am Presence. When one disciplines his outer faculties and makes them obedient to his conscious command of perfection, he is then able to let this tremendous power flow through him unobstructed, and to use it constructively. Within each of you is the same mighty power that I am using. You can use it as I do, when you acknowledge, accept, and admit at all times that the mighty I Am Presence is always in action. This is the cosmic Christ, and the only consciousness in the universe that can say, I am. The thinking flame of God is the only activity of life anywhere in manifestation that can acknowledge its own individualization, use the creative word of God, and send it forth into the universe to cause manifestation. Only the Son of God, which means the individual with free will, can decree as God decrees and say, I am. Whatever quality follows that sound, spoken into the ethers, becomes a manifestation in the world of substance, and thus becomes a form. When the individual says, I am, he is using the creative attribute of the Godhead and announcing creation at his particular point in the universe. The vibratory action of the word I am, either in thought or spoken word, is the release of the power of creation, and whatever quality follows that decree is instantly imposed upon the electronic substance in the ethers. This being the only substance and energy in existence, whose nature is to be qualified in some manner, it must outpicture the pattern within the decree. If the decree is always for perfection, then the experiences in the individual's world express the fullness of the plan of life. But if the individual does not send forth that decree, it is impossible for that perfection to outpicture in his experiences until the decree is released into the ethers in which he lives. Every individual can think perfection at every instant if he only will, and it takes no more substance and energy to build beautiful, perfect forms and experiences than it does the imperfect. But if the individual wants this perfection expressed in his world, he must use his own energy to utter the decree, which will release that perfection unto him. Such is the law of his being, and nothing can change it. Life is the only presence, intelligence, and power that can act or ever did act. These three activities within life are coexistent everywhere. The pure electronic light, which fills infinity, is the self-luminous, intelligent substance of the mighty I Am Presence, existing at all points, and of which all forms are composed. Discord and limitation can build a film, so to speak, around the substance, shutting off, at least to some degree, the radiance of its light. But imperfection of any kind can never enter into the electronic substance itself. The discords and limitations that humanity has wound around itself are due to the activities of the intellect and the emotions, which have not been trained to look within the light of the individual's own mighty I Am Presence for the plan of perfection upon which each one should construct all his outer activities. This perfect plan does not exist anywhere except within the mighty I Am Presence. When the intellect and emotions are purified and illumined by the light of this great presence, then the perfect ideas and activities within it can flow through the personality without becoming distorted by the fragmentary information in the outer activity of the consciousness. The reports of the human sense consciousness are merely unillumined activities, for when light is directed into them from the mighty I Am Presence, they melt into its glorious perfection at once. Love, peace, balance, order, and perfect activity, or the coordination of all outer activities with the patterns of perfection from the presence, can only be brought about by the one great light, the I Am. There and only there does the design of perfection ever exist. If the student or individual will fix his attention with determined tenacity and hold it upon the mighty I Am Presence, he can release such divine love, light, wisdom, power, courage, and activity as he cannot possibly comprehend at present. Divine love contains the perfect activity of every attribute of the Godhead. When the individual enters the conscious path of self-mastery, he should understand and realize that from then on he is obligated to accomplish everything he attempts by the power of divine love from within his own I Am Presence. He must know unmistakably and remember at all times that divine love contains within it the complete wisdom and almighty power of the mighty I Am Presence.